Welcome back to Bulgaria and welcome back to Bdin Vidin in our Football Manager 24 Build a Nation save. At the end of last season we completed Phase 4 and qualified for Europe, and we now move into Phase 5, which is to try and win the title. Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Build the Nation series here in Football Manager 2024. Welcome back to Bulgaria. First of all, I want to start off with a little bit of an apology. The episodes are a little bit few and far between at the minute. I'm just really busy in real life, guys, and I've not really had the time to sit and record stuff as much as I would have liked to. So apologies for that. We have got 13 league games to get through in the highlights as well, so I'll try and keep this as short as possible. We're also going to have a quick look over what's happened in the Europa League. Of course, you were here last time for that 0-0 draw with Sepsi, which was very, very disappointing. And we do have another bit of news as well, which is, I think, where we'll start. And that bit of news is, guys, that we have had a takeover. I finally had a takeover go through. Blazencic completes a £1.3 million takeover of Bdin, replacing the former chairperson Spaz Boyanov. Blazencic revealed he was delighted by the deal and be looking forward to float the club on the stock exchange. We were under a transfer embargo while it happened. He hasn't made any additional funds available to us, which is a little bit disappointing, I have to say. But we have now become a PLC in terms of the business, effectively, because that's what a football club is these days, isn't it? It's a business. But yeah, we finally had a takeover go through, and it's a shame it's not a sugar daddy. That would have been really, really nice. But no, new owners in place, guys. So, let's have a look at the winter signings. Just the one signing to talk about this winter, guys, and that is Yael Thibaut. I think I'm saying that right, I could be wrong, but the young Frenchman comes in on loan for the rest of the season from our parent club, Rennes. Hopefully he can have an impact on the team. Our first league game in this little run of highlights, guys. Now, like I said, there is 13 games to get through, so I'll be as brief as I can. But you can see here it was a very, very, very disappointing result. We've had 3 shots in the entire of the game. A 2-0 defeat to Botev Plovdiv. Unfortunately, we didn't bounce back in the next game. CSKA 1948, who seemed to be my bogey team this season, we went to their place, and again it was 2-0. It was 2-0, and again we were really, really poor. So 2 defeats in a row. Obviously, that's not going to help us in our quest for the title. But we stopped the rot just a little bit in the next game, and a great 4-2 win over Cherno Morvana. Very disappointing that we conceded the 2 goals. Again, that's 3 games in a row that we've conceded 2 goals. But Klimis Sirikos bagging himself a hat-trick. That is after Simon Bouabe had opened the scoring. And it was 3-0 before Cherno did reply just before half-time. They also scored deep into injury time at the end of the game. Still haven't played particularly well, but we have picked up the result. So, like I said, it was Bouabe who got us underway in the 19th minute. Gets the ball back from Kuzmanov, cuts inside onto his left foot, sweeps it past the keeper. Sirikos then got his first goal of the game in the 24th minute. Kuzmanov again on the right-hand side, ball towards the back post and a good header from the Greek. And it was a 3-0 just minutes later, this time out to the left-hand side, and Hamash with the ball in. Sirikos again with his head. He did get his hat-trick though. Zabala this time on the left-hand side. Good work by Zabala, cuts it back for Sirikos, sweeps it home with his left foot. Next time out after the winter break saw us take on Pirin Blagojevac away from home. A 3-1 win in this one. Abraham Marcus got us going in the 11th minute. Adabiega 20 minutes later, and the game was over by half-time. Simon Bouabe adding the third in a better performance. We were better than in this game, and you can see we've got the debut there for the new winter signing in Yael Thibaut, I believe it's pronounced. Yeah, he played okay on his debut. Could have been better, you know, but I will take the win. So it was Marcos who got us underway early on. Sirikos, good work down the right-hand side. Cuts it back for Bouabe. Nice little clip ball to the back post. And Abraham Marcos there to nod it in. Made it 2, like I said, 20 minutes later. Sirikos again, finding Paulo Bernardo. Ball over the top towards the big Nigerian. And it's a good take and a good finish. And we added the third before half-time. Adabiega again involved. Feeds the ball back into Bouabe, who streaks away from the defender. And it's a good finish with his left foot. Spartak Varna up next, and we left this one very, very late indeed. It was Bouabe again on the score sheet, and Sirikos with the second deep into injury time at the end of the game. Syrikos also picking up the Man of the Match award with an assist. Yeah, we played quite well, but so did Spartak, and they'll probably feel a little bit hard done to, particularly conceding the goals so late on. You can see that we were very, very good defensively, and they weren't so good going forward, which is maybe what's led to the result being the way it is, but it's still a good 2-0 win. So, leaving it really, really late against Spartak Varna, Naita Boko on the edge of the area feeds it to Syrikos, pulls it across for Buabe. First time finish. Did go to VAR, but ultimately it went in our favour. And then we added the second, like I said, deep into injury time. Marcos with the ball across, and Syrikos, goalkeeper, jumps underneath it, but good header from the Greek. Next time out saw us take on Ardakar Jali. And as you can see there, by the top middle of the screen, we were 4-0 up at half-time, and we almost bottled it. Adabiega with a double, Buabe and Syrikos both in injury time at the end of the first half give us that 4-0 lead at half time, and we just didn't bother with the second half. By the looks of it, the players just, down tools. We conceded 3 goals, and we're very, very lucky to get away with the win. First goal came in the 38th minute. Buabe, good burst of pace, tackled, but the ball falls kindly to Adabiega. Grabbed his second just a couple of minutes later. Marcos on the left-hand side looks to take it wide past his man. Gets the pull back for Adabiega. Defender missed it, and that's his second of the game. And as we've seen, we've added 2 in injury time at the end of the first half. Thibaut finding Weverton into Buabe. Buabe, powerful effort from range, beats the goalkeeper. And then just a minute later, Buabe with the free kick feeds it short to Syrikos, and it's another good finish. We then went away to Levski Sofia, who were still challenging for the title at this time. They still are, really. Very much so. And it was a fantastic 3-1 victory away from home. Syrikos, Marcos and Adabiega with the goals before Mustafa Cisse replied very, very late on for Levski Sofia. They arguably were the better team, but we've deserved the win, I think, with the efforts that we've had. Unfortunately, Syrikos did pick up an injury in this one, and it meant that he's missed quite a bit of football in the most recent games, but still, fantastic result away to Levski Sofia. So we grabbed the first one early on. It was a mistake in the defence. Buabe picks it up, feeds it to the right-hand side, and Syrikos sweeps the ball past the goalkeeper. Second one came about an hour in. Kuzmanov with the corner, headed back to him, gets a second opportunity, cuts inside the area, pulls it back towards Buabe. Marcos in space on the left. And we made it 3 right towards the end of the game. Naita Boko picking the ball up in midfield, finds Zabala, Marcos Buabe into Adabiega, and a good finish. Next up, Ludogorets came to town, and they've battered us in terms of match stats, shots, XG, stuff like that. But they were lucky to get the result in the end. Andre Lucas Gudjonsson with a 93rd minute equaliser after Christopher Naita Boko had given us the lead with 15 minutes remaining. And that would have been some result had we beaten Ludogorets in this one. That would have given us a little bit of breathing space at the top of the table. Dare I say it, over Ludogorets. Old little Bdin here. But yeah, fantastic result. The past 2 results against Levski and Ludogorets, picking up 4 points from those 2 games, is absolutely fantastic for us. So it was Naita Boko who gave us the lead in the 76th minute. Good work by Adabiega on the right-hand side. Good cross as well for Naita Boko. Next up was an away trip to Lokomotiv Plovdiv, and it was another 3-1 victory in this one. Simon Buabe, again, who's picked up some form in the latter half of this season, by the way. He's been absolutely fantastic, and he's got himself a double in this one. Paulo Bernardo as well, grabbing the goal. So all the goals coming from midfield in this game. Really, really good result, and we keep the pressure on Ludogorets and Levski at the top of the table. So the first goal came after 37 minutes. Marcos, good work down the left-hand side, pulls the ball back for Buabe. Lokomotiv did equalise, but Zabala with some good work on the left-hand side. It's another decent cross towards that back post. Defender gets something on it, but it's a great volley from Buabe to restore our lead. And we made it 3 not too long after. Adabiega with the effort from range. Good save by the goalkeeper, but Marcos picks it up and feeds Paulo Bernardo. Another good result followed, and it was a crazy, crazy game against Abaro Stara Zagora. There were 5 goals in the first 12 minutes. Buabe got us underway after 16 seconds before Adabiega got one. Just a minute later, Marcos got one. They then got one back through Sylvester Jasper, but Adebiega restored our 3-goal lead. Again, just a minute later on 12 minutes. He completed his hat-trick on 37 before Damian Yordanov got one back right on the stroke of half-time. All the goals coming in the first half. The second half was absolutely boring. Really, really boring. Kuzmanov's picked up the man of the match. 8 key passes and 3 assists in this game. Played fantastically well. Marcos also got sent off, which is possibly the reason why nothing actually happened in the second half. If we have a look, he was sent off after the 40th minute. So it was a little bit of damage limitation after half-time as far as Bdin were concerned. So, really, really fast goal in this one. Pretty much from kick-off. They give the ball away. It falls to Kuzmanov. Feeds Buabe, who fires it past the goalkeeper for 1-0. We made it 2. Not long after, Kuzmanov again involved down the right-hand side. Gets to the byline, pulls across for Adebiega for 2-0. And then just a minute later, Gallego with the throw-in finds Paulo Bernardo. Kuzmanov with his 3rd assist. Marcos with the tap-in. As we saw, Bdin did get one back, but it took us about 30 seconds to restore our 3-goal lead. Great powerful work by Adebiega and a great finish. And he completed his hat-trick in the first half. Gallego with a throw and Paulo Bernardo heads it on. And Adebiega again. Next game was a little bit more settled, shall we say. It's still a good win. A good win against Hibar. Maybe closer than I would have liked it, but they haven't actually hit the target. It was Facundo Zabala with the only goal of the game. Right on the hour mark. We've played very, very well defensively in this one. Sirikos came back from his injury in this one as well, which was good to see. But another great win for Bdin. So the only goal of the game coming on the hour mark. Paulo Bernardo to Bettini. Good ball to Zabala. And from the edge of the area, it's a great finish from the left back. And finally, the 12th game in our highlight package for this part of the season, guys. And it's a 5-3 away win to Septembri Sofia. We have been conceding a lot more goals lately, but you may notice who's been in goal for the last few games, and that is Vasil Velichkov. Some of the players were unhappy about the squad depth in terms of goalkeepers, so I said I'm looking to use some of the youth at the club for goalkeepers. Hence the reason why you've probably seen Velichkov's name more often than Gunnarsson's in this part of the season, to which point Gunnarsson has said that he's unhappy with the lack of first team football. So welcome to Football Manager stuff, guys. But yeah, great 5-3 win. Christopher Nitaboko with the double. Adebiega with a hat-trick as well. Disappointing to concede the 3 goals, like I say, but still a very, very good win and a great end to the season that we've had. So we were fast out the blocks again in this one, scoring inside 30 seconds again. Paulo Bernardo, great run down the left-hand side, pulls it back for Nitaboko, 26 seconds in. And we made it 2 with still only 5 minutes on the clock. Adebiega picks the ball up in his own half. A powerful, powerful run. 4 defenders around him and finishes past the goalkeeper. Septembri did get one back before Nitaboko got his second with a great free kick. They pegged us back again to just the 1 goal before we extended our lead yet again. Marcos with some good work down the left finds Paulo Bernardo, pulls it back for Adebiega. And he completed his hat-trick in the 82nd minute. Again picks the ball up with his back to goal. Turns round the defenders. And a great finish from the big man. So after that run of results there, guys, this is how things look in the league table. And you can see that we're currently sat in 2nd position. 4 points behind Ludogorets Razgrad. We are 4 points clear of Levski Sofia in 3rd place. So obviously guaranteed to be in the championship group the way things are. It's a case of can we keep pushing Ludogorets and hope that they slip up and drop some points along the way in the championship group. That is the aim. Highest average rate in the league is Sirikos. 2nd top goal scorer in the league is Adebiega. So we're having a really, really good season in terms of those 2 players. We've got Buabe up there as the top assister in the league as well. But let's go and take on the final game of the preliminary phase now and see if we can close the gap a little bit to Ludogorets. Just one final thing to look over before we do get into that final game. And that is how we got on in Europe. Now, you were here last episode for the 0-0 with Sepsi, so you knew how things went before then. We then went and drew with Zrinski Mostar, a 1-1 home draw. Sirikos with the only goal of the game for us. Well beaten by PSV Eindhoven. This was still in our winter break, though. We were not match fit at all, but we were well beaten. Paulo Bernardo got the only goal for us, and we finally picked up a win in the league phase, and that was at home to FC Copenhagen, a 1-0 win. Simon Buabe with the only goal. But where that left us in the league phase is down in 28th place with 7 points. We were only a point away from qualifying for the next round, which would have been absolutely massive. Now, obviously, we'll have a look at the coefficients at the end of the season and see exactly how we've done, how much Bdin have grown over that time as well. Obviously, we need to now start growing, but just look how much RB Leipzig have struggled. Only 3 points, no wins, which is a little bit of a shock, the team of RB Leipzig. But yeah, we could have definitely done better. Levski finished in 12th place in the end. They have made it through to the next round. But like I said, we will look at those coefficients at the end of the season. Right, guys, now that we're all caught up with how things have gone since you were last with us, apologies if it's a little bit longer than normal. Obviously, just the time of season that we've decided to come back and the time that we were here last time. So there was 13 games in that highlight. Which, yeah, it may be a little bit too long, but, you know, like I say, it's just the way it is. Once we become dominant in Bulgaria, it won't be so much of an issue because we can just gloss over what happens in Bulgaria and it'll be more concentrated on the European thing. But we do need to get to the point where we are dominant in Bulgaria first, and that is quite difficult with Ludogorets in the league. But coming into the final game of the preliminary phase today, away to Lokomotiv Sofia, and this is the lineup that we're going to go with. We're not going to run through every individual player because obviously we do that every time, and you know the players by now. But we do have Gunnarsson in goal, very, very good this season, a 7.2 average rating. Weatherton, a 6.9. Centre-halves of Diogo Silva and Anastasopoulos. Again, they've played very, very well. And so has Facundo Zabala on the left-hand side. Again, done really well. New loan signing at Yael Thibault. I don't know how you say that. It's French, clearly, but I'm not quite sure how you say it. Has done very well since he's come in on loan. Simon Bouabe has hit a little bit of a purple patch recently, as you've seen there in the highlights, with 10 goals and 11 assists now with a 7.11 average rating. Paulo Bernardo, a 7.09, done very, very well. Hamash has been a bit hit and miss. He's over on the right-hand side today instead of the injured Sirikos, who's out for a little while at the minute. So Hamash moves over to the right-hand side. We bring Abraham Marcus back in on the left-hand side. Now, he hasn't played since early on in the season. He came to me unhappy. Said he wanted to go out on loan to get some first-team football, trying to force a move away from the club. So I put him back in the starting lineup, and he hasn't let me down. He's on a 7.25 average rating so far in the league. And then, as you've seen again from the highlights, Adabiega has hit a little bit of a purple patch again recently. He's now up to 28 goals in his 31 appearances. Unfortunately, it's gone. Oh, he's gone. He's been wanted by PSG for so long. Luis Enrique's been and watching Bdin games, looking at Adabiega, and it's gone. It's no longer there. But he doesn't want to sign a new contract with me. He says Bdin's squad needs to significantly improve. That's a shame, because in his current contract, he does have that release clause of 2.3 million. And he's obviously worth more than that. He's definitely worth more than that. I think this guy's going to be world class. He's already listed as a wonder kid by the media. I think he's going to be absolutely world class. And I'm probably not going to keep hold of him after this season. He'd probably go in the summer, unfortunately. So we are looking to bring replacements in. I've been through all the national teams, under 18s, looking for future talent. I've got a load of them, possibly signing on free transfers going into next season, and we'll weed out the good ones. But that is the starting lineup for today's final game of the preliminary phase. Let's go and get a win. So as we get the game underway then, guys, we're looking to keep the pressure on Ludogorets at the top. They are playing. They're away to Pirin Blagravad. Weatherton with the corner early on. Headed clear. Bouabe picks up the second ball. But Joe Gelhardt, believe it or not, formerly of Leeds United, and of course spent last season on loan at Sunderland in real life. So a player who I know very, very well. He's found his way to Lokomotiv Sofia in this save. But we're still coming forward with the ball. It's Marcos feeding Paulo Bernardo inside the area. Pulls it across for Adabiega. Gets his 29th of the season. I think he was offside. We'll have to find out. Of course, we're going to get VAR. The defenders are pleading for the offside to the referee. It's been allowed. It has been allowed. So Adabiega does get his 29th of the season, and that's good. That closes the gap at the top. to Ludogorets to 2 points going in towards the end of the season. As things stand, of course, they're still drawing. But Diogo Silva with the ball comes back to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson feeds it out to Anastasopoulos. Forward into the midfield and Paulo Bernardo. Paulo Bernardo's got Zabala alongside him. Zabala back to Paulo Bernardo, the Portuguese. Bringing the ball over halfway. Looks to feed Boabe. It's a good, intelligent run from Boabe. Feeds it to Adebayoga, who gets his 30th goal of the season. And that's fantastic for the young Nigerian. 20 years old now. And I really hope, I really hope we can keep hold of him. 25 on the clock then, guys. Ludogorets have taken the lead in their game. But Adebayoga into Boabe. Back to Adebayoga for his hat-trick. He's put it wide. Great play between those two, Boabe and Adebayoga. They're playing really well together lately. Ludogorets are drawing. Fabio's got one back for Pirin Blagojevic, which is great. Levski Sofia are losing to Arda as well, which is even better. Gives us 7 points over Levski. Coming into the final part of the season. And I think in that final part of the season, that championship group, as we've got this free kick here for Lokomotiv, gone harmlessly over. I think if things stay the way they are, as at the minute, then that game against Ludogorets in that championship group is going to be absolutely monumental in terms of how the championship is going to be decided. But 2-0 at the break, Adebayoga with the double. Lokomotiv looking to get back into this game. It's headed clear by Anastasopoulos. It's Adebayoga chasing after, but Nikolov gets there ahead of him. Finds Lavinia. Back forward into Nikolov. We're going to get there, though, with Hamash, who comes across and reads the situation well. Drives down this right-hand side. He's tackled well, but he keeps the ball. Finds Paulo Bernardo. Boabe feeding it to Weverton. Weverton needs a runner ahead of him. He's got Boabe. Boabe with the effort. He gets his 11th of the season to make it 3-0. I don't know why we're claiming offside here, because there was no way he was offside there, guys. Not in a million years was Boabe offside. Apparently I'm wrong. Apparently I'm wrong, guys. Who was offside there? I don't think so, like. Don't think so, like. No. No. That's VAR being VAR again, guys. We all know about VAR, don't we? In real life, it's absolutely woeful. And I'm, as a Sunderland supporter, I know we got beat in the derby. Yes, I know we got beat in the derby by Newcastle. But how refreshing was it to see that game? Refereed well, I think. The left referee let it go. There was no VAR. And it was just a good old-fashioned derby. It's now, look, wow, what a strike by Ricardo Alexander for Lokomotiv Sofia. They do get a goal back, and they reduce the deficit to just the one, which is, I think it's time for me to encourage the Bdin players, because we have conceded goals in latter stages of games recently. And now Torre with the ball over the top, looking for Joe Gelhardt. He's got no pace. Don't worry, he's got no pace. To T-ball. Paulo Bernardo feeds it towards Marcos, enjoying his return to the squad is Abraham Marcos. He gets the ball back into Paulo Bernardo inside the area, pulls it back. It's cleared by the defenders. Zabala's going to get there, though. Finds Marcos again. Across, and it's gone all the way through. Paulo Bernardo with the finish. His 9th of the season, assisted by Abraham Marcos, and we restore our 2-goal cushion. Ludogorets still drawing, though, guys, which is fantastic for us. Still could be a late twist in this game, though. Boabe pinches that from the throw-in, and he's got a little bit of space to move into. Does he have the pace, though? Now comes back inside to Paulo Bernardo instead. Back to Thibaut. Thibaut back to Paulo Bernardo. Marcos. Marcos comes back to Zabala. Patient build-up here from Bdin. Finds Boabe. Adebayoga. Nice touch. Can he get his hat-trick? No, he can't. No, he can't. And he said, of course he can, and then he's gone and put it wide. It may not matter. It may not matter. Levski have taken the lead late on against Arda. That obviously leaves the gap to Levski at 4 points. Anastasopoulos back to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson feeds out towards Weverton. No, the attacker's going to get there. Weverton's caught napping. Christian, good tackle by Thibaut, though, to rescue his Brazilian teammate. Weverton fast asleep at the back there. And now Hamash feeds it to Paulo Bernardo. It's Weverton driving forward. He's got Hamash. Hamash looks to feed it down the line towards Boabe, but he gets it back. Marcos dummies the defender, but he's been forced really wide here as Marcos. Back to Thibaut. Thibaut to Hamash for 4-1. right at the death. We've made it 4, which is good. It helps the goal difference out massively. The more we can score and the less we concede. And that is a nice comfortable victory there, guys. We've picked up form at the right time of the season. We had a little bit of a shaky spell in the middle of the season, but a fantastic win for the boys. We're going to tell them nice job, and let's hope that Ludogorets stayed at a draw. It did. It did. The title is back to 2 points. 2 points with 5 games remaining. And there is that championship group, guys. 2 points off top. Can we end that little bit of a run that Ludogorets have been on? Of course, 4 out of the 5 years in this save, effectively, isn't it? 4 out of the 5 years in this save. Levski Sofia, of course, won the first one. They are 4 points behind us. We're only 4 goals worse off than Ludogorets now. We've pulled that back just a little bit. But the game against Ludogorets is going to be absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Adibiega's is now the top scorer in the league as well, guys, which is fantastic. And Syracuse is still up there on 18. We will be back for the final game of that championship group, where hopefully we can actually win the league. You can see we've already qualified for the Europa League this season, which is obviously fantastic. Which means we're guaranteed to finish no lower than 3rd in the table. We are still in the cup as well, so there's potential for us to retain the cup. We've got CSKA 1948 in the semi-final, which is coming up very, very soon, which we should win, let's be honest. It's probably going to be Ludogorets in the final, if we're entirely honest. But yeah, fantastic. We've had a great season, guys. We need to win that title, and then we need to consistently win that title. But until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.